Okay, so we are up to Parakeh. We are continuing the ongoing various dialogues that the Yatzer Hara has with us in trying to convince us to do certain things. And we ended last week with the first example. Is going to go through a number of different examples of avenues that the Yatzer Hara uses to try to get us to move away from purity of action. Again, this is this gate, this whole chapter or part of the Sefer deals with the idea of serving HaKadosh Baruch Hu through perfection of deed, through honest focus and sincerity, and making sure that the things that we do for the right reasons. So he says it's not easy because the Yatzer Hara will start talking about doing things to sort of be liked by people, to be respected by people, to gain honor and fame from people. So that is why it's so important. And he actually quoted, and this is what the Yatzer Hara is very good at doing. If you don't really know Torah well, you can distort certain things. And the Mishnah Bachya ibn Pekuda says, right, that Kol Shirach Habrios Nochimena, Rachamokam Nochimena. Who does HaKadosh Baruch Hu love? Those who people love. So all you got to do is make sure everyone loves you and spend all your time making sure you ingratiate yourself to everyone around you. You'll be in perfect shape. So we started the argument back. And maybe I'm just going to go back one small paragraph just to sort of begin the sort of the back talk or the response that we should give to the Yatzer Hara. So let me just, even though we did this one short paragraph last week, for the sake of clarity and the complete picture, let's start from there. So I'm in my sefer, the bottom of Lamed Vav. Okay, and when the Yatzer Hara uses this argument to try to get you to sort of focus yourself on having people like you, and there are people like that, that they're just very concerned that everyone needs to like them. And if there's somebody, oh my gosh, and they get all upset and they start twisting something into pretzels to make sure that person is okay with them, which is not necessarily bad, but let's sort of target the point. So it says the Chovos HaLeVovos, this is what you answer. And it's almost like if it wouldn't be a bad idea if we actually verbatim would go back to the Sefer and when we have these thoughts in our mind, we should go back to what he says and really read it right back to ourselves and be talking to the Yatzer Hara. And he says like this. This is incredible stuff. He says, what good is it for me, all of my attempts and all of my efforts to get people like me, mere mortals to like me? What's the point? This person who I'm trying to ingratiate myself to has no ability to either hurt me or help me. Stop from focusing so much on people who ultimately have breath in their being, which means that they're mortal, which means that they're not here forever. They don't have ultimate powers. And what significance is it? Even if it was true that I'm obligated to make sure people like me and do what I can to gain favor in their eyes, I really can't do it anyway. How in the world can I get everybody to like me? It's just not going to happen. Right? You're going to end up getting some people upset. I have enough trouble getting, we say, I don't know if he's saying it tongue in cheek, I can't even get my whole family to like me, right? I've got people, in my own house who are not happy with me. I'm going to get the whole world to like me. So, I'm barking up this almost impossible mountain. And certainly other people. And, okay, that's where we ended off. And now we're going to continue, but we ended off hanging. What do you do with that Mishnah in Bachya ibn Pekuda? Mishnah Bachya ibn Pekuda, that definitely sounds like my job is to make sure people are happy with me. So he gives us a beautiful understanding of what that's all about.
So that's the Yatzer Hara saying that, because we're not supposed to buy into the fact of what people think about us. We're just supposed to do what we need to do. Okay, but
right? Well, that's sort of right. He's about to explain that in very clear terms, but we still have to reconcile that with the Mishnah that says, Kolsha The person who everyone likes is somebody who HaKadosh Baruch Hu likes. So it does sound like, on the surface, that's our job. Make sure everyone likes you.
No, but you don't have to make sure everybody likes you. Just act like you're supposed to, and then, relatively speaking, afterwards, people will see that you're a nice person. And it's also the people who honor people. Those are the ones who will be honored. So it's like your character comes through.
Okay.
And then,
you're almost as good as the Chovos HaLeVovos, but let's do it. Let's see what he says. Okay.
Excuse me? No, just kidding.
Okay.
She grew up in her father's house.
Very good. The Divrei Rabbeinu Zal Sheveis Memraya, and those words of the rabbis that you brought a proof. You Yatzer Hara brought a proof that I have to worry about people. That mission does not obligate you to get and find favor in everybody in the world. That's not what it means. But rather, the kavan of those words is what a great rabbi once left over to his children, to his son, in a tzavah, in a sort of a will, or a last, dictate or doctrine for his family. And he said to his son in that written document, Bini, my son, to try to work, to have all the people around you like you, that's not within your grasp. You can't do it. Don't even try. But what is within your grasp, what is within your ability, your job is to make HaKadosh Baruch Hu like you. Your job is to make HaKadosh Baruch Hu happy with you. So if you take care of that one focus, one and only focus, do what's right in the eyes of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, He will make you loved by people. He will give you that chen in people's eyes because of the person that you are, who is only focused on one thing, and that is doing the Ratzon Hashem. Because when you start trying to make everybody happy, you're not going to almost make anybody happy because of the fact that you're going to be moving here and there, and it's going to drive you crazy, and you'll never be able to, you'll end up probably having to, a lot of deception. Who knows what else you're going to be involved with? Because when you have conflicting interests and trying to make them both happy, what's going to happen? Him, you're going to say this, to that, you're going to say that, and you're going to basically, everyone's going to find out that you're pretty much a faker. It's just not going to work. Kamosha Kasuv, as the pasuk says in Mishlei, B'rtzos Hashem darcha ish gam oivav yashal mito. If what Hashem wants is the way of a man, even his enemies will end up being good with him and having peace with him. V'zui gam kavanas Rabbeinu, so Taitzal, mishakol habrios, mikoten ve'adgodol, mahalim u'mushabchum oso, umrutzim maisav. If you have a person, from the youngest to the oldest, praise and the Lord is a particular individual, and they love his actions, and they're very happy with him. Simin hu shakel yizbrach nosam b'libos b'nei adam avay love. If you find somebody truly in that category where he's beloved or she's beloved by everybody that this person knows, that's a special gift that you can't really make that happen. That's a gift from HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and it's a sign that this person is focused on one thing, the Ratzon Hashem. And it's a siman that this was a gift that HaKadosh Baruch Hu bestowed upon that person. V'sam loy shem tov al shaynan. He put a good name on the tongues of people to be able to talk about him that way. That's the special chen that HaKadosh Baruch Hu sort of bestows on a person who has that quality. But God doesn't do this to his enemies, doesn't do this to those who he hates. That's a sign that HaKadosh Baruch Hu loves that person because the person is being most nefesh for avodas Hashem, for service to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And it's an absolute siman, a solid siman, that if you have somebody like that who everybody respects and loves, that's a gift. That's sort of coming from Shemayim. That's what the Rabbanan meant. That if you have somebody that kol ruach habrios nochei meno, to simin that ruach hamakam nochei meno, because that's his only one focus. That person's only one focus is ruach hamakam. What does HaKadosh Baruch Hu want from me? Avosh adam tzaddik yishtadlo v'yidrach shebnei adam yishabcho so Al Shu Avos Elokim. But if a person tries and his whole goal is that other people should praise him because he's serving HaKadosh Baruch Hu, so that's his focus of how people are going to see him and praise him. And even if it's somewhat positive from the point of view, maybe you want to show other people the right way, but at the end of the day, this is your concern, your focus on what people are going to say about you. Ein zeh mimanhigat tzaddikim. This is not from the minig of tzaddikim. So, and we see that. I heard a cute little story, cute little joke yesterday. Somebody told me about the fellow looking for Mr. Cohen, the president, and you're looking for Mr. Cohen, the president. He came to town. Where is he? Where does he live? Mr. Cohen, the president, that lowlife, that horrible guy. And I'll say real quick. And he lives down there. You go down that a few blocks that way. He goes down a few blocks. Asks another guy. Mr. Cohen, the president. The worst person I ever met. I can't stand this guy. No, everyone hates him. There's not okay. Where does he live? A few more houses down. Finally, one asks another guy the same deal. He lives right next door. And so finally he gets to the door, and Mr. Cohen knocks on the door. Mr. Cohen, answers the door. Are you Mr. Cohen, the president of the community here in the shul, whatever? He says, yeah, that's me. He says, I need to ask you, I've just been talking to a bunch of different people. What motivates you to take this job and be the president of this community? He says, I do it for the covet. So and the reality is there are many people like that who their position in their mind is an honorable position. They don't realize the backstabbing that goes behind their back about how much people can't stand them. In the meantime, and the reason why they can't stand it is because they're doing it for the cover. I mean, the joke has a lot of chachma. When you do something for the cover, the result is going to be you're not going to get the cover. Exactly. People are going to see through you. They're going to talk behind your back, and they're going to say the worst things about you. When you mamish Hashem Shemayim, that's when you're not doing it for that reason. But HaKadosh Baruch Hu says that's when cover is going to come. People are going to truly love you because they see you're not doing it. You got to be careful because the minute you start doing it for the wrong reasons, then it's going to start backfiring.
Isn't the English saying you can't please all the people all the time, or something, right?
Yeah. Yes. That's correct.
Some of the time, but you can never please all the people all the time.
You can't please all the people all the time.
Right, but his point is, there's only one focus. Just please HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Do the right thing, and that's it. We have to add that to the saying. Al Kain. Therefore, he says in the bottom paragraph, be careful, do not buy into this seductive argument of the Yatzer Hara. Or anything similar to that. Because if you're going to listen to the Yatzer Hara, he will start getting you more and more accustomed. And covet, can get into a person's bloodstream. If you're not careful, you get a little bit and it tastes good and you like it, and then you want a little bit more. And then when you don't get it, then that's when, somebody sadly told me that there was a whole big event at one yeshiva's Charukas Abayis, and one of my friends who was involved in organizing, he said, Avram, he said, you would not believe the issues of where people sat. And
yeah, I believe
how far you are from the center of the dais. How that was literally like earth-shattering issues.
Disgusting.
Earth-shattering issues. And that's what happens. Because, there are people who will tell you, if you want me at your wedding, I need to get this covered. If I don't get this covered, you can't, I'm not coming to the wedding. And I know for a fact that it happens, and it's, I'm sure they have the reasons. I don't understand it, and I do understand Rosh Yeshivas who say, if you need me to Masada Kiddush, I'll be glad to go, but otherwise I have too many, responsibilities. I don't think that's a covered thing, but
that's different.
That's different. But the idea that, this is what I need because of my position in the community, I don't know. Yeah, I have a little bit of a problem with that. Anyway, so one second. Yeah, he says, because if you do listen to him, he's going to get you to start becoming more and more accustomed to this covered thing. Till it meshes you in the trap of this gratification of and the glory that you're going to get. And you'll end up not serving HaKadosh Baruch Hu, but you'll be serving people, and that's not a place where you want to be. And that which Yatzer praises you, because after all, you're such an amazing person. Look at what you do. You do such wonderful things. Aneloi, answer him like this: when the Yatzer starts building you up, because again, the Yatzer is very smart, so it knows how to get into you to get you to do the things he wants you to do. So when the Yetzer Hara starts praising you and telling you what a wonderful person you are, an Eloi answer him like this. Says, what praise are you really giving me in that which you say to me that I know all of my obligations, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and you're saying that I'm this great tzaddik who fulfills all of these things. He says, "Hello, Adarab." The fact that I know all of my obligations, and you're claiming that that I'm a great person. Hello, Adarab. It's actually the exact opposite. It's exactly for that reason that I do know my obligations, and I am a learned person, and I know what I have to do. That's why I know that God is unhappy with me. He has tinus against me. I am not fulfilling, commensurate to the knowledge that I have about Torah, I'm not fulfilling what I need to do, commensurate to what I'm aware of and what I know. I mean, knowledge is power, but also knowledge is responsibility. And knowledge creates a great pressure to fulfill that knowledge and to carry out that which you know. And even if I were able to fulfill all of the mitzvahs that I know I have to do, and let's say I even did them, do I have are there words in my mouth to possibly express my obligations, to express all of what I owe HaKadosh Baruch Hu and the thanks that I owe him for the good that he's done for me? He says, even the smallest good that he's done for me. Look how few are my days in this world compared to eternity, compared to the beginning of the world till today. Okay, thousands of years compared to a few decades that passed by, and people are here and people are gone. Okay, and all of those years that I'm here are not enough for me to express all of the good that HaKadosh Baruch Hu has done just to me. He says, and certainly it's not enough to pay back HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It's one thing I can't even express it, but can I say that I paid HaKadosh Baruch Hu back in terms of how much I owe him? Can I say that during my lifetime, all that I have received, I paid back? How in the world can you say in the few years that I'm here in this world that I have fulfilled my responsibility to HaKadosh Baruch Hu? Because it's not just doing the Ratzon Hashem. I guess there's more of an overriding responsibility to sort of pay back and have that sense of gratitude and debt to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So have you done that? Have you paid that back? Have you even touched the surface of all of the kindnesses of HaKadosh Baruch Hu and what you've able to give back in place? In the pasuk says in Yeshayahu, all of flesh is like grass, all of humans are like grass, and all of man's chesed and kindness is like a flower of the field, and it just withers. It withers and it fades. If the famous statement of Hillel, if I'm not for me, then who is for me? And even when I am for myself, what am I? The famous end is, if not now, when? But the focus that he wants to say really is the middle part of that statement. Even when I do, what am I doing? Even if we, as much as we want to do, can we say that we paid back Hashem properly for all of the incredible kindnesses that he's given us? So how in the world am I going to walk around feeling, like some hotshot that I'm some great guy when I know that there's so much more that I could do, there's so much more that I need to do, and no matter what I do, it's really never enough. So that's to calm the Yetzer Hara down and say, back away, okay? Let's not don't get me fat-headed and don't start telling me how wonderful I am, okay? I have to try, and maybe, we all deserve a pat on the back once in a while. But for us to walk around thinking that, that's it, we're done and we're good, and we can walk around thinking that, we've accomplished something, we always have to feel there's more to accomplish. Okay, so that's one example.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Is sometimes the power of the Yatzer Hara possibly based on a person's personality? In other words, like if a person is one of those kind of people that in their mind deserves and is entitled to the kavod, do you think that the Yatzer Hara will hit harder on somebody like that than maybe somebody who's
Well, sure. I mean, first of all,
and stuff like that?
Yeah, I mean, the Yatzer Hara exploits the inclinations of the people and the personality they've been given. We all have different character traits, and the Yatzer Hara exploits those character traits based on who we are. So, if a person sort of enjoys kavod, then that'll be the way he tries to use the argument. If somebody's very meek, there might be a different method, but sometimes even in our meekness, we use our meekness and our timidness. The Mesilas Yesharim talks about this to be sort of say, look at how humble I am, and that sort of could become the source of our gaiva, of haughtiness. But the answer is yes. The Yatzer Hara definitely exploits based on who we are and what our weaknesses are. That's what he tries to get in and use that to get to us. So once we've battled this argument, so it's never over. There's always a new argument and a new issue. Because if once you get the Yatzer Hara to give up, okay, you lay down the final argument, you lay down the gauntlet, the Yatzer Hara knows it's beaten, you've made it very clear that you're not God's gift to the world, and you're not going to spend your whole life trying to make people happy because it's not going to work. So now what's the next step? Okay, so don't so much focus on whether people like you or don't like you, but you do have to admit that kavod and a good name are important. It's important to do things that will bring you honor because it's a sign that you're doing the right thing. So the next step that he wants to get us on is on this issue, to love kavod and the good name in this world. And I'll tell you like this. This is the argument of the Yatzer Hara. I'm very happy and I'm very proud of you that you are serving God very well. And based on what you just told me in the last chapter, in the last few paragraphs, you have tremendous bitachon in HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That's very impressive. And you do everything for His name. And you have total belief that people cannot help you, and this is such a fundamental point, which would do so much for our well-being if we actually understood people cannot help me or cannot hurt me. Okay, that's not within the purview of people to do. Now, it doesn't mean you can't have a taina if God chose them to be the one to hurt me. But that's a fact that if it's time for me to feel something negative and Yankel's the one who brings it to me, I do I have a right to say to Yankel, that wasn't right that you decided to bring me that hurt? You have a right to say that, but the real issue is not with Yankel. Because if HaKadosh Baruch Hu did not want me to have this pain right now, I wouldn't have this pain. And Yankel would be completely ineffective at accomplishing what he accomplished. So the real issue is HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and when the minute it's HaKadosh Baruch Hu, then we have a little bit of a different perspective. Who am I to start complaining to Hashem? And we have, we start accepting that more, at least that gets us into a realm of easier of acceptance and recognition that I'm not perfect, and who might have tinnitus about something that didn't go the right way. But what happens with us? We end up focusing on Yankel. And we're not interested in talking about God and about the issue that I have with HaKadosh Baruch Hu or that HaKadosh Baruch Hu has with me. We just keep focused on Yankel. We're out to get revenge against him, and we're just angry and spiteful and hateful, and we forget that there's a much bigger issue here. I'm here because HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants me to be here. Okay? So if I don't have my job or I don't have my money or something else that happened to me, the issue on the big picture level is between me and HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So, and I'm very happy that you get that. And you really understand that nobody in this world can help you or hurt you. Rak habois barach. Only God can make decisions as it relates to your well-being. V'atu bala bitachon amita. And you are the true bal bitachon. Haboteach elokim be'emes. Ubalev shalom. You trust HaKadosh Baruch Hu in truth and with a complete heart. Ulam. However, this is what the Yatzer Hara says. However, there's a but here. And the but here is, lo yinocha mitzidcha laser as dargas chasiduscha b'nei adam. You have no right to hide your greatness from people. People have a right to know who you are. You're a special person, you're a great person, and your greatness should be spread. Okay, and you should be calling Mishpacha magazine now to do a front page article on you. Okay, and you should be making sure that the world knows exactly how special you are, because you are an incredible, sincere individual. Because of the fact that you have sort of taken hold of yourself and you've overwhelmed your taivas, your passions, and you're strong in holding them in check. It is fitting that your actions be seen by people. You should reveal to them the purity of your heart, not so much for kavod. Okay, take that back. That through that you will receive praise. Okay, v'tikna shem tov b'neihem, and you will acquire a good name amongst them. I will give into my house, into my walls, a monument and a name. Better than sons and daughters. Famous pasuk in Yeshayahu. So, in other words, the idea of solidifying and memorializing your action, that people are aware. That's the idea of a memorial, of a monument. So that's the same idea. You can be a monument. We can make a monument to you in real life. The people should know who you are. And I will make for you a great name, like the greatest people of the land. There's another reason. This is what I was focusing on, but he puts a second. I was going to put it first, but obviously we have to follow the Chovos HaLeVovos' order. And another reason why it's kedai for you to do this, so that people be aware of how special you are. Right? If they write a biography about you, people are going to read about it, get inspired, and want to emulate you. So you're not doing this just for your own cover. Cover is nice, but you're also doing it for people to learn of how it is that you're supposed to be. And therefore let people know, so that we can have another book on the shelf. Only hide your actions that are impossible to be revealed. Only those things that need to be secret, that are given to you in complete and total confidentiality. That cannot be seen by people. But all your other actions, which are able to be known and revealed, galei. Reveal them and show it to people. Through this you will get kavod and a good name in this world, and you'll also get great schar in the next world. So this is the compelling argument of the Yatzer Hara, that it's only fitting for people to know how special you are. So, okay, that's the Yatzer Hara's argument. Now we come back with the truth. Okay, so when the Yatzer comes at you with this argument, answer as follows. And again, it's not a bad idea to really keep this, in bold print, near us, because these are things that we very often deal with and grapple with. And we need to have these words of the Chovos HaLeVovos are very powerful to keep us focused and keep us on the straight and narrow. So how are we going to answer this argument? What good is the praise that I'm going to be getting from people? And the good name that I will have among them. As long as I know, as long as I know that I'm not where I need to be vis-a-vis HaKadosh Baruch Hu, I got a lot of work to do. I am not perfect. I know that I have faults. I know that I have shortcomings. So where in the world do I have a right to pat myself on the back and enjoy all this glory? And what is it possible going to give me when I know that I've got a much more important goal of becoming a better person? All of this honor and glory they're going to bestow upon me, what good is it going to do me? They don't have the ability, these people who are writing about me and making books about me, They have no ability to help me, nor to separate me from any damage. They can't protect me. They're not going to give me anything that I want, and they're not going to block anything from coming my way that I don't want. Okay, he's not a put down to people, but he says essentially when you look around, the people around me, vis-a-vis how they relate and impact me, no different than the leaves of the grass and the animals. Because just like, an animal could hurt me, but if an animal hurts me, again, it's all b'yad Hashem. Whether it be, the things that grow on the ground, the things that walk around the earth on all fours, they don't even have the ability to help me or to hurt me without HaKadosh Baruch Hu's will. People are no different. V'yod, and furthermore, they covered v'shem tovim evidence Hashem mitoch chavanazu. Isn't it possible, my dear Yatzer Hara, that if I start buying into your argument, I will not get any kavod? Don't you see that possibility? Okay, if I start working for kavod and serving HaKadosh Baruch Hu in order to get kavod, asig esefech. But if you're really honest, as we just said, the exact opposite is going to result. Isn't it possible that people are going to smell me out and recognize that I'm enjoying this and I'm doing this because people will recognize me? To the point where they're going to say, him? You want to give him kavod? The guy's a bad guy. He's doing it for the kavod. So why would you give him kavod if that's what he's doing it for? Okay? They're going to shame me. I'm going to be a joke. I'm going to be an embarrassment. I'm going to become bald from here and bald from there. I'm going to be missing both sides of the goals of what I have not in this world and the next world. On the one hand, in this world, I'm going to lose the value that I have in people's eyes. My actions are going to lose their value because my intention is to do them not for the sake of God. And therefore I will not be able to get schar in the next world if my actions are lacking the proper motivation. Nor will I get the cover in this world because people are going to see me for what I am and who I am, and I'm a person who's into the glory, right? There are people. I've heard, unfortunately, many times, there are people around. That you give them the opportunity, they'll write the check out. You give them the honor, and they'll pay for it because they enjoy the cover. So if you give them a ribbon, give them something to cut in a nice banquet to talk about them, and they're there. They're so the real honorees. You have to twist their arms 20 times over, and after they say no all these times, and finally you can convince them. That's like you got a good honoree. But the honoree that's like, oh yeah, sure, me, no problem. That you sort of know. Maybe that person's not so worthy of honor. And was said about one of the kings of the Jewish people. One time he was in a shul and they read from the Torah in front of the king. So then they asked him, what a insightful story, because we just take everything on a deeper level. Did you hear this laning? Was this not the most beautiful laning, king? Did you hear this person's voice and the way he read the Torah? Aren't you so impressed? His voice is so beautiful. And look at what an expert laner he is with the trup and how sensitive he was to every detail. But how he's going to pronounce the words, king. Isn't this amazing? The king answers back, how do you expect me to be impressed and for me to have found favor in the reading of this Torah? I clearly see his motivation is that I should derive benefit. He's doing this for me. He's doing this so I should like it. And that I therefore should like him because I liked his laning. I should like him and be impressed with him. If he had one focus in reading that Torah to make HaKadosh Baruch Hu happy, if his laning was obvious and evident that he was only doing it because he wanted the pure words of the Torah to go up to Shemayim from a sincere source, that would impress me. But I see he's trying to press me. You want to impress me, show me that you're only trying to impress HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That's how you'll impress me. But when you're trying to impress me and you've got that as your focus, and you don't really have HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and again, I'm sure we've heard singers over the years, and you can sort of tell, or maybe Chazanim, whatever, that are they really, do they want us to hear their voice, or do they want HaKadosh Baruch Hu to hear their tefillos? What is their main focus right now? Are they showing off the different level octaves of their incredible ability to, whatever those words are, to, all the different,
whatever.
Of going from the different octaves, whatever it's called? Or, is this person just completely given over to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and literally his words are literally flying right to Hashem? That's the tefillah that really moves you. The guy, his chest is out, and he wants to make sure that everyone, make sure that is aware of his greatness. That's not a tefillah that's going to move people. That's entertainment. That's show business. That's not laning. It's not davening. That's not what it's about. And now, a brief little critique of what was going on around him. Says the Chovos HaLeVovos, and about what the king said about this particular person. The same could be said, he says, in very strong terms, about all of the chazanim and all the Baalei Tefillah, who daven in front of the congregation, and all of, in his generation, there were people who are creating and composing new songs and new piyutim for the davening. If those people were doing those things to find favor in the eyes of people, as opposed to finding favor in the eyes of Hashem, they are not well received by Kadosh Baruch Hu. Kadosh Baruch Hu is not interested in you praying to impress people. Okay, I mean, what he wants is sincere connection to him. That's only that makes sense. And if we're not doing that, and we've got other things in our mind, then that's not what you call a beautiful and proper prayer. So this is the basic argument to the Yatzer Hara, that what you're asking me is foolish. I'm not going to get it. I'm not going to get the covet. I'm going to be missing it from both sides. I'm going to end up becoming a mockery, and no one's going to be happy. It's certainly not a Kodesh Baruch Hu. The Yod Tomel Yetzer, and furthermore, we should say to the Yatzer Hara, immediately cover Bol Mazeh Avur Maseh. So let's say you're right. Let's say I get tremendous cover, and I'm on the front page of everything, everybody you'd ever imagine, and things are going great. And if I get too much cover, I'm concerned. So Yishar Shum Schar Lehem Bol Mabo. So when I get to the next world, what's HaKadosh Baruch Hu going to say? You've been on the cover of 18 Mishpacha magazines. Now you want to get a reward in the next world. You got it in this world already. You got it in Olam Hazeh. Because I already received it before I got to the place where I really want the reward, the eternal reward, in after 120 years.
So what about people that we do honor at banquets that bring in a lot of money to shuls?
So those people have to work on themselves.
Yeah.
That yes, you're getting honored, but you're not doing it for that reason. And you recognize how a lot of times, people who really understand this will say, "I know how painful this is for you to accept this honor." But understand, you're doing it for the yeshiva, you're doing it for the institution, and you're suffering for the sake of Klal Yisrael. But if somebody's really enjoying it too much, it's a problem. So when you ask Rabbanim, when you ask Poskim about these situations, very of the really sincere people will ask a shaila, and the answer that they will invariably get is, listen, people know you, people respect you, and if you accept this honor, you're going to help the institution. Don't let it get to your head. Recognize that it's all nothing, it's all sheker, and you are going to, you're helping other people, inspiring other people to give. It's an important thing. So it's almost like you sort of have to give up. That's a famous story about I've heard different names. It always ended up with the Chovos Chaim, but the other person with the Chovos Chaim, the different versions. But let's say the Belzer Rebbe, whatever. So that's one of the versions I've heard. So the two of them were on a train, and they got to the stop, and the Belzer Rebbe tells them that all these people are outside waiting to see you, and he says, I can't go out. I says, all that covered. I mean, hundreds, if not thousands of people are out there in the train station wanting to shake the Chovos Chaim's hand and see his face, or to get a bracha, whatever. It's too much covered. This is So I can't. He says, and the gadol that was with the Chovos Chaim, sometimes you got to give up even Olam Haba for the Klal Yisrael. Sometimes you just got to do it. So even when you know that something is maybe not so right to get that covered, but for the sake of all the people who need to see you, who need that inspiration, who need to connect to you, you know what? You got to suffer for Klal Yisrael once in a while. You got to. So that's sort of the concept. But but the people who get to that level, the people who understand what's really going on in the world, and those are the ones you don't have to worry about too much. Okay, let's do one more paragraph. Okay, and there was a story about a tzaddik who once went to a certain marketplace to buy something. He went to a certain merchant to buy something. The neighbor says to the merchant, do you know who's in the store? That's a big tzaddik. That's whatever, He says, you make sure you give him a good break. You give him a good discount because he's a big tzaddik, he's Yor Shemayim, so you better not charge him a lot. So Amar Tzaddik L'Socher, so Tzaddik says after, I guess, being told that, we'll take care of you, Rebbe, I don't want your discount. Okay, I didn't come in here for a discount. Okay, because if I'm getting a discount because I'm a Talmid Chacham, what I'm doing is I'm getting rewarded. Well, I'm not if I'm stealing because he's doing it voluntarily, but at the same time is basically my Torah is giving me a profit. I came with money to buy the item, not with my Torah. Okay, I don't want to use up my Torah to buy your item for a good price. And he refused to buy the item because he didn't want to benefit from his Torah in this world. He'd rather go to somebody else that doesn't recognize him, where he'll get the regular price. So being anonymous is sometimes a very good thing. So we have to pick it up as Hashem next time. Is that next?
May 1st, I think. May 1st.
May 1st and 15th. Sounds good. Okay, and let's hold the place.